Please join us in our gathering hymn, From This Bright Hour. From this bright hour and days to come, as we have gathered into one, open the gates and the light will shine all around. Let there be light. Wounds of the world begin to heal as peace with justice is made real. Open the gates and the light will shine all around. Let there be light. All are welcome, all invited to open hearts and open minds. In our living, in our learning, may we always be searching for truth and light. Now is the hour, join in the song, here in this place where we belong. Open the gates and the light will shine all around. Let there be light.
Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Portland, where our mission is to nurture the individual spirit and to build the beloved community. We're so glad you are with us this morning for our family worship service. At the end of our service today, you'll see a link to connect with other learning community families on Zoom to socialize and reflect on today's service. Today is a special Sunday we call Celebration Sunday, and we'd like to share with you a video from Reverend Bill Sinkford.
Yes, it's Celebration Sunday. I'll bet some of you remember other Celebration Sundays when we were together, when we were able to dance down the aisle in the sanctuary and drop our gifts into the big baskets at the front. We can't do that this year, but we can still have the satisfaction and even the joy. We can still feel good about knowing that we have all contributed to keep our church strong. That's what Celebration Sunday is really all about. All of our families coming together to support all that First Unitarian does. The worship services like this one, the music, the work for justice, the lay ministers, the courses and the classes, all that we do. And we do a lot. Our support helps make First Unitarian a beacon of hope for us and for our community. This year is a challenge for all of us, but we need to keep the church strong for this year and for the time when we will gather again in person. Let me tell you what we need you to do. Last week, we had promises of 80% of our financial goal. Hundreds of families had made their promises of support. If your family is one of those that has already made your commitment, thank you so much, because you have already helped. You helped bring us within reach. Some families were even able to increase their gift this year, and that helps cover for other families who need to reduce theirs. This is a way we help each other. It's how we live in this community. Give until it feels good, a mentor of mine once told me, until it feels right to you. We are still tallying and recording pledges as they come in, but there are more than 300 individuals and families that we haven't yet heard from. If your family hasn't given yet, you've still been thinking about it or just haven't had time to get it done, and we know how that can be this year. Please, please do it today. There'll be a QR code to follow after this service, or just go to the website and make your pledge. But do it today, or early next week at the very latest. Don't put it off, please. If we all make our commitment, whether large or small, we will be able to find our path forward into a hopeful future for all of us. Help make this Celebration Sunday a day we can remember with smiles on our face and love in our hearts. Thank you.
Every Sunday, we light a chalice, and Cassandra will light our chalice here in the chapel this morning. If you have a chalice at home, we invite you to light it now. We are Unitarian Universalists. We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love.
Gary Snyder said, "Nature is not a place to visit. It is home." Come now and let us worship together. Today is the first Sunday of the month, and every month our church community begins a new spiritual theme. This is the first month that we're beginning together in family worship, and we'll introduce our new theme each month using this, which we'll call our Wonder Box. Aaron from our family ministry staff made this truly beautiful box. Let's take a look inside. So what we've got here looks to be water inside with some other stuff floating around in there. Water is such an important part of our lives. I'm sure we could think of all kinds of themes that go with water, but for today, let's think about water as a place to call home. Our spiritual theme for the month of October is home. And the region we call home is all organized around water. There are two major rivers close to us if you live in the Portland area. We live in the Willamette River Valley, and just to our north is the mighty Columbia River, which is where this water came from. So in this jar of water, we're also seeing sand, maybe some plants, soil debris. What do you see in there? Now, if you don't live in this area, what is the nearest body of water to your home? Maybe there is a river, lake, or ocean nearby that you identify with the place that you live, the place that you call home. Now we have some special guests to meet this morning, and when it comes to home, the water is definitely where it's at. Thank you to those of you who joined us earlier in the week to help make this video. Let's check it out.
Right adjacent to the river otter exhibit here at the Oregon Zoo. And our otters can kind of come and go, so hopefully they will stay with us so you can all see them the whole time, but they may leave. We'll try to encourage them to stay here, but so just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, so as you can see, we can see everyone popping around here. Okay, we have 3 North American river otters. We have 2 females and 1 male. Our oldest female, her name is Tilly, and she is the one who is in the water right now, kind of popping up. Tilly is 11 years old, which is fairly old for a river otter. In the wild, they'll typically live around up to 10 years, but under human care, they can live up to 20. So, and Tilly is nice and healthy, so we hope she has a nice long life ahead of her. And then we have our 2 youngsters there who are now back in the water. Flora, see if we can get them to come up here. Very good. So I'm going to adjust you here. Hopefully you can see sort of. So Flora and Hobbs are our 2 younger river otters. Let's see. I've got Hobbs in the middle and Flora on the right-hand side, who's kind of just out of the camera there. These 2 are younger otters. They are just over a year old. And all of our river otters were actually orphaned in Oregon. Tilly was found in Johnson Creek area. She had been attacked by a cat. And then Flora was found in Gold Beach, and Hobbs was found on a construction site in McMinnville. And at all the times that our river otters were found they were orphaned at a very young age. River otter pups are very dependent upon their mothers for about the first year of their life. And so unfortunately for these otters, they were not able to be re-released, but they found a really great home here at the Oregon Zoo with us. So that's a little bit about our otters. River otters in general, as mentioned, they're called North American river otters. So you can find them all across North America. And you'll find them not just in rivers, but also in lakes and streams, estuaries, marshes, really anywhere where there's a clean source of water. You'll find these animals.
Hi, Tina. So this is Cassandra. We're starting this month as we're starting our spiritual theme for October, which is about home. And so by learning about the otters and their homes, we're curious what you can tell us about a little more about their homes and what kind of threats they face. It was interesting to hear about where the otters came from. Could you talk a little bit more about the kind of threats that they face to their homes in the wild?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say the biggest threat that otters face is from humans. And actually otters have had kind of a troubled past, I guess, with human interaction. So river otters have been really frequent across North America, but in around like the late 1800s or so, river otters faced a lot of issues with humans. They were hunted for their fur, and they they faced habitat loss from logging and things like that, and then pollution. So as humans come, we make things dirty, and river otters are very sensitive to pollution in the water systems. So they can really only live in a water area that is very, very clean. And so thankfully today, river otter numbers are doing a lot better. We've done lots of things like the Clean Water Protection Act and things, and reintroduction. So river otters are doing better, but the threats that they face are still the same. It's humans, and a lot of it is pollution. So things like when we pour chemicals down the drain, or gardening and things like that, or trash on the side of like a river bank and things like that. Those things make life for river otters really difficult. So that's kind of, I would say, their biggest threats to their home.
So Bodhi here had a question. Do you want to ask your question, or do you want me to ask it for you? Okay. He was asking, his question was, why do they like to swim every day?
That is a good question. They're really designed to be in those waterways. And I think that the main reason why they spend time swimming is to look for food. So they do eat, animals that live on land, but fish is really the favorite. They love fish. And so they spend a lot of time in the water swimming, looking for different kinds of fish to eat. River otters don't always live together. So adult river otters will live individually or sometimes in a pair. So male river otters will swim long distances looking for females. They can have pretty large home ranges, around 15 square miles or so. So quite a long area that they will habitate. So if those males are looking for a female, they might need to swim a long way. And swimming is a lot easier to travel a long distance, especially for a river otter, since they are built for it. Let's see if we can, as they're moving really quickly, but if we get a profile, you can see they have those really like long, thick tails. They can use those tails kind of like a propeller to help them get through the water. They'll also move their bodies kind of in a wave-like shape, and use their limbs, like their feet, to kind of help paddle them through the water. So they have webbed fingers. They're really just designed to be very streamlined in the water. So that's just a very easy way for them to travel around.
We have a question here.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Emma.
I was wondering what's important when you're taking care of an otter, because I want to be a vet at a zoo when I grow up.
Well, that's awesome. I'm very happy to hear that. Yes, that is a great job, and a great question. So there's all kinds of things that go into taking care of our otters. Again, sometimes it's just as simple as looking at them really closely every day. to make sure that they're healthy. We want to watch for small changes in their behavior, their appearance. We also take care of them by feeding them. So we feed our otters about at least 4 times a day, some of that meat and fish, so that they're getting a nice big diet to help keep them healthy and support their high metabolism. So they eat really frequently. And then for taking care of them, we also clean their home. So we spend a lot of time cleaning, keeping it nice and tidy for them, so that they have a great space to live in and they can keep themselves clean as well. So those are kind of some of the things that we do to take care of them.
Oh, Everett has a question.
How do otters survive in
But apparently my class didn't like
mostly water?
How do they survive in the water? Is that what the question was?
Yeah.
That's his fault.
Yeah. So they mostly do well avoiding predators in the water by being really fast swimmers. So they can swim up to about 8 miles per hour, which is pretty speedy. And they are just very streamlined. So they can see really well in the water. They're very agile and they are very strong swimmers too. They can dive pretty far down as well. So they can dive up to about 35 feet or so. So they can dive pretty deep down and they can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes. So if they were trying to avoid a predator, they can swim, they can dive down and wait for the predator, and escape pretty easily like that. So that's kind of how they get around. So they're pretty well adapted. Most of the time, though, they will not spend quite as much time underwater. If they're not avoiding a predator, they'll come up for air. They'll maybe only dive down a few feet or stay underwater for a couple minutes or so.
All right. Tina, thank you so much. This was really special. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing the otters.
Well, thank you so much. It was my pleasure. The otters were definitely excited to see all of you as well. So thank you so much.
This song is by a composer named Raffi, and Raffi writes lots of music for children. This song is almost 40 years old, but Raffi reminds us that we all share the same place that we live, the big, beautiful planet in the sky. There's a big, beautiful planet in the sky. It's my home, it's where I live. You and many others live here too. The earth is our home, it's where we live. We can feel the power of the noonday sun, a blazing ball of fire up above, shining light and warmth enough for everyone, a gift to every nation from a star. There's a big, beautiful planet in the sky. It's my home, it's where I live. You and many others live here too. The earth is our home, it's where we live. We can feel the spirit of the blowing wind, a mighty source of power in our lives, offering another way to fill our needs. Nature's gift can help us carry on. There's a big, beautiful planet in the sky. It's my home, it's where I live. You and many others live here too. The earth is our home, it's where we live. Sing with me this time. There's a big, beautiful planet in the sky. The earth is my home, it's where I live. You and many others live here too. The earth is our home, it's where we live.
For today's prayer and meditation, we invite you to listen to the music made by the water of this planet. a big, beautiful planet that all of us, creatures and critters alike, do indeed call home.
Words from Simone Enter, descendant of the Pascuayaqui and Jicarilla Apache tribes. I sit on the rocks, watching the unusually slow, glassy current of the Columbia. I see children tossing rocks into the river, squealing with unabashed glee as they splash in the cold water. From the shade, elders sit back watching them. As I sit here, I think about how the generations before me fought to keep and protect this area, this homeland, so that we can sit here today and breathe it all in. This is the day we have been given. Let us rejoice in it and be glad. Go in peace, practice love. Amen.
Our closing hymn is Go Now in Peace.